Hi there, it's Chris. This is a very special episode for me. My time in British Columbia for this one was so inspiring and wild. I know Wales are special to a lot of you as well. I've heard it directly from some of our Patreon members who I'm really enjoying connecting with there. You can check our Patreon community out for yourself at the link in our show notes. Enjoy the show. Excuse me, are you a local? Do you know if there's any remains of the whaling station that used to be here last century?
No,
There
not that I'm aware of.
No, okay.
No, I mean you can walk up, it's low tide, so you can go around that hillside there to your left. You don't have to go over that rock, and you can walk around there, but as far as I know, there's nothing here.
I'm on Vancouver Island, on the rugged west coast of Canada, searching for a bit of history from last century. Excuse me, do you live here?
Oh yeah.
Do you know if there is any of the remains of the whaling station that used to be here? Do you know anything about it, or if there's any? No.
Know about it, but I'm pretty sure it's long gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they cleared all that away.
I was hoping to find some pieces of rusty metal or some memory of it. The whaling station was built right here in 1907 near the town of Nanaimo, part of a worldwide onslaught that began in Europe way back in the 1600s to kill and harvest whales, in this case, humpbacks. These giants of the ocean are known for the hump on their backs that appears when they arch to dive. But you'd never even know the whaling happened here.
But yeah, no, I'm sorry, I might be clueless. Maybe somebody might have more knowledge than me.
No, I think it's kind of just been erased, that whole part of history I'm learning. Of course, today it's full of human life. The sandy beach is sunny and warm and smells of seaweed and sunscreen. The glistening city of Vancouver is across the water just 35 miles away. I mean, it's a scene of beauty right now. There's families, there's boats out off the shore here, sailboats and cruise liners and float planes in the air flying over. But if you replaced all of those ships and boats that are here right now with humpback whales, this place was a different scene 100 years plus ago, full of life, full of humpback whales.
The whales 400 years ago would not have swam through the same sea.
Back then, in centuries of the past, before the whaling, before the crowds, it was very different for whales. For millennia, it was a much quieter life for them, an oasis for humpbacks, and a life of plenty.
What there would have been is the giants that can thrive as a result of these cold, rich waters.
It was said that you could see a spout or the slap of a whale's tail in almost every direction. But when those whalers arrived, overnight, it became a bloodbath. Harpoons exploded from the bows of steel whaling ships, and whales moaned in pain as their lungs filled with blood. The waters ran crimson. The stench of death was everywhere.
What the whalers that I've spoken to have talked about is what the smell was like. The heat from cutting into the animals that you would actually see because they are mammalian kin. It's a warm-blooded animal, and that heat would be released. It is a very, very unique smell that hangs in the air and I think would never really leave you.
The smell of opportunity was also thick in the air. In 1907, the whaling station set about killing whales, turning some of the largest creatures in the history of life on Earth into buckets of oil, slabs of meat, tubs of cheap margarine, and fertilizer. In all, 97 humpbacks were processed here. But by 1909, just 2 years after it opened, the station had to shut down. There were no humpbacks left to kill. So here, off the coast of Vancouver, 100 years ago, the humpbacks of the Salish Sea faded into history. Until 25 years ago, when something extraordinary happened. Somehow, the humpbacks started to come back. A complete surprise, and unimaginable after what their relatives went through here. But what they swam into was a whole different world. Hundreds of fast-moving ships, fishing nets and ropes, and an ocean full of noise. So today, the race is on to keep the humpbacks here. Can a handful of Canadian researchers using groundbreaking science get the returning whales the protection they need in these new perilous waters of the 21st century? And that's the story I'm here to tell. It's the story of the humpback comeback. From KUOW in Seattle and Chris Morgan Wildlife, welcome to the wild. All right, Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, down at the harbour. How cool. And now just looking for the boat. I just got off an early morning ferry from Vancouver to Victoria that's on Vancouver Island, an hour and a half away. There are tourists all around, dining on the edge of the water and taking pictures alongside a big sign that spells out Canada in giant letters. This is the southern tip of Vancouver Island, a 300-mile slice of land that looks like it just cracked off from the coast of North America. To the west of here, nothing but 4,000 miles of Pacific Ocean until you reach Japan. But it's the piece of water in that crack between the island and the mainland that we came to see. This channel is known as the Salish Sea, a storied place for wildlife and history books. And I'm psyched because I'm here to join a whale watching tour with a man at the heart of the story, Mark Mallison. He's been working for a company called Prince of Wales for 29 years. I meet Mark as he steps off his boat with his load of passengers. Mark, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Nice to meet you. Very excited.
My dog, Finn.
Oh. Mark and his dog show me the way to a room full of gear and his next group of whale watchers.
You guys just relax. You're going to need suits, though.
Yeah, okay. We'll all be out on a Zodiac today, an open inflatable boat that fits about 12 people. Dozens of bright orange survival suits hang like scarecrows on a rack. Full-body life jackets that'll keep us warm and afloat in case of a mishap. They've got hats and gloves and everything. One of Mark's colleagues shows us how to climb inside the thick nylon jackets, and the room fills with the sound of heavy zippers and Velcro.
One more note about phones is that we do go into American waters pretty frequently, so some people like to have their phone on airplane mode just to avoid any accidental roaming charges.
The whales don't know it, of course, but the border between the USA and Canada runs through the Salish Sea, and we'll be bobbing between the two countries, just like the whales do.
All right, everyone, let's head on down to the boat here. Follow me.
People from all over the world come here to see humpback whales. Our boat has guests from Texas, Colorado, even Germany.
All right, let's head off. Again, my name's Mark. If you have any concerns, any questions during the trip, give me a thumbs down above your head.
We set off. We're in good hands with Mark. The Salish Sea is his backyard. This waterway stretches from Olympia in Washington State in the south to the northern tip of Vancouver Island in British Columbia. So it's a busy place.
Here comes the KUOW ferry coming in from Port Angeles.
We pass a ferry on its way from Vancouver to Victoria, the same one I took to get here, and massive container ships loaded with multicoloured steel boxes. Tour boats and pleasure craft pick their way through the marine traffic. We bump across the waves at high speed, and there's definitely a sense of anticipation on board. We're all eagerly scanning the water, looking for any glimpse of a spout or the splash of a fin breaking the surface. 30 years ago, no one would think of coming here to see humpbacks, because it was nearly impossible. 20 minutes into our ride, Mark spots something.
Just saw our first humpback whale here.
No way.
Just got a blow, yeah, right out there beyond the sport boat that's fishing.
A humpback whale, about 100 yards off our bow. I see it just for a second, moving like in slow motion.
Just out beyond that little sport fish boat ahead of us, maybe 3/4 of a mile.
Then it's gone. It dives into the inky water. Mark powers down the engine to hold stationary in the gentle swell for a little while, waiting for the whale to resurface. An adult humpback is huge. They're 50 feet long and weigh 40 tons. The two giant fins that stick out on both sides of their chest are each the size of a giraffe. We don't have to wait long. Okay. Oh, there. Oh, there's the tail. Beautiful big dive and the giant tail that just surfaced.
Call that one, I believe that's exclamation, judging by what I saw there on the tail flukes, the markings.
Really?
So I can't remember
There are
the age
14
of that
different
one,
populations of
it's a juvenile,
humpbacks around the
so adult
world.
animal.
And conveniently, every single whale has a different pattern of whites, greys and blacks on its tail, its fluke. It's a bit like a whale fingerprint. The fluke is always the last thing to disappear beneath the surface after the whale tips its giant body vertically at the start of its dive. It waves like a dripping rubbery flag to anyone on the water behind it. And Mark's experienced eye saw just enough of the fluke to recognize this whale. His name is Exclamation. Whales may be large and charismatic, but their lives are still shrouded in mystery. We had a picture of Earth from space before we had any pictures of whales swimming underwater. Humpback whales spend most of their time out of sight, foraging for food. They're filter feeders that scan the ocean for tiny shrimp-like organisms known as krill, or schools of fish. They don't have teeth. Instead, their mouths are lined with baleen. These are the long bristles made out of flexible keratin. A humpback fills its mouth with a swimming pool's worth of water. Then the baleen filters it out, leaving behind the krill and fish. And no one knows for sure why they do it, but humpbacks are also famous for throwing themselves out of their watery world and leaping joyously into ours.
These big, beautiful, graceful animals, sometimes you see them thundering out of the water and twirling in the air with spray coming off of them. Sometimes you see barnacles and whale lice flying off in the air as they're twirling, and they come thundering down and just creating a massive splash. And the sound is incredible. Sometimes I'm out there looking for whales and I'll hear like a kaboom.
Mark's fascination for humpback whales really began back in 1997. He was 29, and it was his first year as a guide. He was out on a tour looking for orcas, when suddenly something surfaced between the swells. It was big, really big. It was a humpback.
It was pretty exciting, and the people that were also whale watching, my colleagues, were very excited when the humpback whale was spotted. I was a bit naive to it, to be honest, because, like I say, I was new and I didn't really know anything about humpbacks.
It was the first sighting of a humpback whale in this part of the Salish Sea for nearly a century. Mark snapped a photo with his camera and named her Big Mama.
She's an iconic humpback to the Salish Sea. Everybody knows Big Mama.
That's right. Almost 30 years later, Big Mama is still alive, and she comes back here every year. We head further out to sea, and Mark spots several whales spouting in the distance. He shuts off the boat's motor so we can take a listen.
We'll just sit tight here for a second, maybe able to hear them blowing.
It's really quiet on the water today. Not a breath of wind. It feels like we're in a watercolor painting. The washed-out surface of the ocean is glassy and smooth. The only noise comes from a couple of salmon jumping near our boat. Oh, yeah. You would never know they were here right now, would you?
Right now, you wouldn't, because I look around and I don't see any distant blows. But they're mysterious animals, they spend so much time out of our sight.
Mm-hmm. Humpbacks usually stay down for about 8 or 10 minutes in their search for food. Mark's sonar tells us the bottom's about 600 feet beneath us. We have no idea where they've gone, but he knows they'll surface again soon.
Yeah, it can be a patience game sometimes waiting for them.
You see one over there? Suddenly, multiple humpbacks break the surface not far from our boat. We can hear them blow. It sounds like a bunch of compressors releasing air. Four of them around us right now. Wow.
It's gonna lift its tail again, and there it goes.
That was amazing. Oh, there she goes. By the end of the 5-hour tour, we've seen more than a dozen humpbacks. Not bad for a place that had 0 whales 3 decades ago. After that special day back in 1997 when Mark first saw Big Mama, people noticed more and more whales trickling back into the area. Mark started taking photographs of the flukes, so he had a record of each new whale. He began to build a whale catalogue.
And then started building the catalog to the point where I couldn't keep up.
So Mark teamed up with Tasley Shaw, another whale watching guide who was collecting her own set of whale tail photos.
I said, tell you what, yeah, I'll give you all my data. And she's like, seriously? I'll give you. I had hard drives of it all. It was pretty organized. And I just gave it all to her, and it was like Christmas for her, and she just ran with it.
Tasley and Mark titled their catalogue Humpback Whales of the Salish Sea. When a researcher identifies a whale, they give it an ID number and a name, and it goes into the catalogue with a photo of its fluke. The result is like a big laminated book, a whale who's who for scientists and whale-watching outfits to identify and document which whales they're seeing. What are some of your favourite names of these whales?
Well, all the names I gave, of course.
Go on,
right?
what?
Big Mama and Split Fin, Split Fluke, Barnacle Bob, Monarch, looks like a monarch butterfly.
So far, they've documented 1,100 individual humpback whales here in the Salish Sea. So how did this happen? What caused Big Mama and 1,000 of her friends to come back to these waters? That's a question scientists have been pondering for a long time. And the truth is, no one really knows.
Is that because there wasn't food in another area?
Jackie Hildring is one of those scientists.
Is it because there was a concentration of humpbacks in one area, so you got range expansion? I don't think we'll ever know for sure.
Jackie co-founded MERS, the Marine Education and Research Society, in 2008, based on northern Vancouver Island. It's a group that's looking at the impact of humans on marine species, specifically whales. The International Whaling Commission banned the commercial killing of humpbacks in 1986 when they saw how few humpbacks were left to harvest. The population immediately started to grow back.
Not overtly killing humpbacks anymore has given us a second chance.
Amazingly, in the half-century since that ban took effect, humpback whale numbers globally have recovered almost completely.
And it's not just population growth, though. It's also a shift from somewhere else. And despite all the citizen science that inputs into where the whales are, we haven't solved where they are shifting from.
There are still plenty of mysteries for scientists to figure out, but what's not a mystery is that Big Mama and her friends seem to love it here. Humpback whales are known for their impressive migrations every year between their summertime feeding grounds in the north and their wintertime breeding and birthing grounds in the south. When you think of the great migrations of the world, you might picture wildebeest in the Serengeti or bison on the Great Plains of North America. But it's these humpback whales that you see off British Columbia and Alaska that have the longest migration of any mammal on Earth. 3,000 miles each way, from here to Hawaii or Mexico and back every year. Waiting for them back here off the coast of Vancouver Island after that exhausting journey is an all-you-can-eat krill and fish buffet for a hungry whale. It's partly thanks to Western Canada's mightiest river, the Fraser. On its nearly 1,000-mile journey from the mountains, it picks up silt and nutrients and then delivers them right into the Salish Sea as rich fertilizer. And on down through the humpback generations, mother whales share knowledge of where the good eating is with their calves. "Listen to me, chubs," Big Mama might say to her calf. "This is the place to fatten up in summer."
And this is something I think so many people don't realize. Whales are not randomly blundering around the ocean. These are neighbors coming back to the same areas generally year after year after year.
In biology, they call it site fidelity. Whales learn about a place from their mothers, and every year they cross a mighty ocean to return there. But of course, the reasons why the whales come back year after year are the same reasons people have built cities here. Big rivers, healthy bays, lots to eat. It's no coincidence that Vancouver, Seattle and Big Mama all find themselves in competition for the same stretch of coastline. And for the returning whales, the Salish Sea contains a lethal new threat: fast-moving, steel-hulled ships. Jackie has experienced the sad results up close with a whale named Spike. Have you seen whales injured from ship strikes?
Yes, rawly, horribly. I've rolled around in the surf with a whale that I knew when she was alive to make sure that she was secured. Because so often the whales disappear with their stories. So our work is, and this is something I never saw coming, is to secure her body to make sure that there could be a necropsy. But I was rolling around in the surf doing a terrible job in my dry suit of trying to tie a rope around her tail.
The necropsy revealed Spike's cause of death: blunt force trauma. She'd been hit by a large ship.
Shipping lanes were put in without really any thought with what could be in those areas, apart from, is this a suitable area for a ship to pass through?
That's Dr. Chloe Robinson. She's a researcher with OceanWise, a conservation organisation also based on Vancouver Island.
Unfortunately, humpback whales like to sleep in the shipping lanes, and this makes it even more challenging because they're basically bobbing at the surface. To the untrained eye, they could just be a log. And this is what we're thinking is causing a lot of these vessel strikes.
A humpback's eyesight is not great at the best of times. If it's dark, a ship can't see the whale, and the whale can't see the ship. And the noise from so many boats heading in different directions and at different speeds is confusing to them.
It's basically like trying to cross the road, maybe 70 times a day. It's an odds game. One of those at some point, you're probably going to get hit by a car.
Even the ferries are a problem. Chloe says she can't relax when she's on one. She stands at the front, looking out for whales. How many are we talking? How many ship strikes are there?
How many leaves are there on that tree? We don't know. This is the interesting thing. The reality is it's a little bit nobody, no crime. We don't know unless these whales rock up on the front, dead on the bow, or they wash up in good enough condition that we can do a necropsy and ID cause of death. But a majority probably sink when they've been struck. So that's, I think, part of the challenge. We don't know the number. People don't feel when they hit a whale. It's nearly impossible if you're on these large container ships.
There have been about 15 confirmed vessel strikes in the Salish Sea since 2021. All kinds of different boats were involved: cargo ships, ferries, cruise liners, even small recreational vessels. And those are just the documented strikes. And it's not just here. All over the world, whales are killed by boats in their thousands every year.
No one wants to say, yes, I hit a whale.
No, right.
So it's mandated to report, but we will never know, I don't think, ever, the true extent of vessel strikes out there.
To help boat owners understand what's at stake for the whales, Jackie Hildering helped launch a whale-safe boater course. It teaches boaters the importance of keeping speed and underwater noise down, the laws about the right distance to keep from whales, and how to report any problems they see. But courses like this are voluntary, and that's not enough to keep the whales safe. What they need are better laws. Laws to control shipping routes and boating behaviour. This is where, for a whale, crossing the international boundary makes a difference. The coast just off Washington State has been legally declared critical habitat for some migrating humpbacks, but the Salish Sea in Canada has not. After the break, we join Chloe on a cutting-edge research mission that may have the power to change that. We'll be right back. Hi wild listeners, I hope you're enjoying our humpback whales episode. You can probably tell I'm a huge fan of this huge creature. I want to do a quick shout out to some of our Patreon members. Thank you to Catherine C, Mary Ann J, Kevin P, Benjamin W and Kim C. On Patreon we've got extended interviews, behind the scenes chats, polls that you can participate in and much more. And it feels like a beautiful new wild community that's building. You can find the link in the show notes. All right, let's get back to the whales. Okay, we're going down to Maple Bay, down to the water here after a long winding road. There seem to be a lot of long winding roads on Vancouver Island, either up across the mountains through the forests or following the coves around. It's really beautiful. I've arranged to meet Chloe and her ocean-wise colleague Gary Sutton at a marina an hour north of Victoria. Hi.
If you're not Chris Lucy, I'm a little worried.
Hey, you Gary?
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you, Gary. I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. Gary will be skippering our boat on a mission in search of whale DNA. Information about the whales and who they're related to, who's breeding with who.
Oh, perfect. Well, very comfortable. Yeah. Oh, what a nice boat. A little different than the Mark's rig that you were on yesterday.
Yeah. Unlike yesterday's whale watching, this is a serious science trip. Gathering the DNA of the Salish Sea humpbacks will allow scientists to confirm that they are genetically unique. Proving that uniqueness is important for a few things. Genetic uniqueness or diversity in any population increases that population's ability to survive. It means less inbreeding and more resistance to disease. Protecting the humpbacks that are genetically diverse will increase the odds for future generations. And if Chloe and others can prove these whales are genetically unique, the government might just pass laws that protect the habitats where the humpbacks live, especially where they feed, including here in the Salish Sea. Those protections could be things like requiring vessels to slow down or give a whale more space. We jump on the aluminum research boat. It's got a cabin with a small table and some seating. There are bits of gear and scientific equipment stashed about.
The water in case we get any samples, because you never know.
Chloe has some plastic jugs for sampling. We put on life jackets and squeeze behind the table inside to get out of the wind. As I settle in across the table from Chloe, I notice what looks like a whale tattoo on her arm poking out from under her shirt. Can I look at your forearms?
Oh,
I've noticed your connection is painted all over you here in the form of tattoos. Look at those beautiful...
I actually currently hold the Guinness World Book of Records for the most number of cetaceans on a female body.
No way.
I just upped my own record last week with a humpback whale tattoo, my 58th whale on my body.
58?
Yeah. I'm covered from head to toe in whales.
Is there any space left?
There's plenty of space. My aim is to get to 300 in my lifetime, yeah.
Whenever Chloe writes a new scientific research paper, she gets a tattoo. That's a lot of research. I can tell she lives for this stuff. Growing up thousands of miles away in England, Chloe dreamed about someday working with whales in Canada.
I had a feeling in my heart and my gut I would always end up here. I knew that one day I would be on Vancouver Island working with whales, and since 2021 that's what I've been doing.
And with that, Gary hits the throttle out of the marina. A decade ago, the only way to get DNA from humpbacks was to collect their poop, or get a little sample of blubber with a special dart. But chasing a whale in a boat, waiting for it to poop, is almost impossible, and getting close enough to dart a whale puts it under stress. But now, there's a new technology called eDNA, environmental DNA, and it allows KUOW to gather information about a whale without ever touching it. It's whale DNA from the water the whale is swimming through.
It's almost like, I think about this a little bit like whale dust, right? Because human dust is considered to be made up of skin cells and all sorts of bits that we shed into the environment. This is really the equivalent of whale dust.
Back in the lab, KUOW can analyse the DNA in this whale dust and identify thousands of genes specific to an individual whale. This builds up a picture of the evolutionary history of humpbacks in the Salish Sea. The information that, depending on how unique they are, could be used to increase protection for the whales.
So we really don't know how connected the humpback whales are. And by connected, I mean kind of a bit of a 23andMe. We don't know who's related to who, and we don't know if there's any sort of smaller, more unique, discrete populations in the area. So we're using this eDNA to answer a lot of questions around basically who's related to who's the daddy, a little bit of parentage analysis, and then also the sex of these whales, because sometimes we don't know the sex of a whale for its whole life.
There's one whale who's been returning here for 22 years named Monarch, and researchers still haven't figured out if it's a male or a female. As we speed up the strait, I watch KUOW methodically scanning the ocean in all directions. She's wearing black head to toe, with gloves, even a black life jacket. Looks a bit like a detective, out to dig up evidence. Do you like a good crime show?
I love a good crime show. I do.
What is it? You're living in your own crime show in some ways, are you?
I am, yes.
What is it about it?
It's the mystery for me. The mystery surrounding crime shows is very kind of akin to the mystery of eDNA. So we're a bit like forensics, so it's like CSI of the sea. You know, we're scooping seawater and trying to identify what humpback it relates to. Most of the time we know what whale it is, but in terms of we are looking at the inside of the whale, inside the cells of that whale. So it's very, very, very similar to what you would see on a crime show.
KUOW's work depends on technology. She pulls out her phone and opens an app with a chart of the area. The chart's full of little dots indicating where scientists and even members of the public have seen a humpback whale nearby.
Humpback whales. The orange ring around them means they've been reported within the last 30 minutes. So as the humpback whales will be kind of off in that direction right now.
Okay, off up to the left there.
Yeah, it's like the whale paparazzi. It's
All of a sudden, Gary slows down and makes a sharp 90-degree turn.
Oh yeah, Gary, I clocked him before you this time.
The boat accelerates, and I feel like we're suddenly in a high-speed car chase, except a bit more civilised. The boat has to stay at least 100 metres away from the whale to give it space, so we don't cause it stress. We also have to be smart. An adult humpback is the size of a city bus.
So we need to make sure we keep our distance, because this whale could just decide to breach right next to us at any point in time. So we have to really gauge their behaviour. You know, if they're being very airborne, as we call it, and up in the air and breaching, then we're probably going to keep a bit further back.
Gary starts to position the boat while KUOW preps the DNA collection kit. The first item isn't very technical. She grabs a plastic jug like a lemonade pitcher, rinses it out with a bit of bleach and water to remove any contaminants, all the time keeping one eye on the whale's direction, waiting for it to take a deep dive. Because when the giant tail slices through the water, it sheds a bunch of skin cells and oils that KUOW will try to scoop up. That's the gold dust, the humpback DNA.
I see a blow. Wow.
But then the whale goes down again. Feels like a game of hide and seek. Gary repositions the boat, trying to guess where it might pop up next. About 10 minutes later, we see another blow.
Oh, we're up around 1 o'clock.
Okay. Gary, the skipper, has seen it. So we're heading that way. Gary speeds ahead.
Maybe 100 yards. Whoa, there goes the fluke.
But we're not close enough for Chloe to collect a decent sample. And with DNA, time is of the essence.
You want to be close enough so you know you're going to get a good sample, because pretty much the minute skin leaves our body, any animal's body, it's degrading in the environment. So temperature, things in the seawater will break that down. And we want to get the DNA as good quality as we possibly can. So we want to collect it as quick as we can, obviously without getting too close to the animal and disturbing the animal.
So I'll have to try again. There's a fine balance between trying to get a good quality sample and keeping a safe and respectful distance. Gary yells down from the wheelhouse with some exciting news. He's identified the whale from its tail fluke. Its name is Orion.
It's a whale called Orion. I'm very excited because we don't have DNA yet from Orion, which means this is definitely a whale that we want to target to collect some samples, because they are not already in our database of humpback whales. So we're actually seeing a bit of a Salish Sea legend right now. So very excited.
Wow, I just got goosebumps. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
We carry on steadily now at underwater whale pace, less than 3 miles an hour. And then Orion lifts his fluke high and does his deep dive. This is the moment Chloe's been waiting for. We quickly zoom into the spot. She crouches down on the edge of the deck, plastic jug in hand, and tells Gary to guide her.
Yeah. Just count me down.
Orion left behind some bubbles and a slight sheen on the surface from the oils excreted from his skin. This big circle of shiny water is often called a fluke print, like a watery footprint. It's only there for a minute or so, but it's like a target for Chloe to aim for. She leans into the middle of it and scoops up a jug of seawater.
There we go.
Then she turns around and high-fives me.
Easy as that. You'll see that I kind of dipped it in, and that's just to give it a quick rinse in the area.
Yeah.
And then you scoop right into where the fluke print was.
God, that was it. It all happened so quickly suddenly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So then when we filter this volume through.
Look at that. A gallon of
Humpback whale. Yeah.
DNA.
I'm very happy. This is a whale we haven't had before, so cool.
Excellent.
Thanks, Gary.
I never knew scooping a jug of water could be so exhilarating. Chloe pours the precious water through a special tabletop machine that filters the whale cells from the seawater. A machine straight out of Willy Wonka, with all kinds of tubes and lights and switches. It whirls and gurgles away, and what's left is a little bit of filter paper the size of a coaster, full of Orion's DNA, adding another precious piece to the puzzle from this pioneer whale. The information from this sample will tell Chloe who is mating with who. When any animal mates outside of its normal group, it creates genetic diversity in the offspring. This means future generations will be healthier. Chloe's research could show that various groups of humpbacks are genetically distinct and where they hang out. The hope is that this information will catch the attention of lawmakers who would change laws in order to protect the humpbacks in the areas they live, leading to healthier populations. This eDNA whale dust technology is so new that it might be able to uncover other information scientists don't even know about yet.
We don't know how far it can go. Can this tell us, the health of a whale? Can this screen down to hormones and other things apart from DNA? Like, we really don't know how this sort of non-invasive collection of information can close gaps that exist right now.
It's a new frontier for these scientists, and that feels appropriate. 21st century wildlife need 21st century science to help them. As we start to head home, I climb up top to join Gary. We've still got our eyes on Orion. He comes up now and then to blow.
Oh, there's one. Oh, there he is, yeah. That's monarch. Oh, no, here he is.
Oh my God. So is that two of them now?
Yeah, there's two of them.
And then suddenly we spot another whale swimming up behind him.
I got him dialed in or what?
Yes, you do. He popped up right next to us. Well done.
That's amazing. Gary takes a photo, zooms in, and can tell right away from the fluke pattern that this second whale is monarch, another often seen character of the Salish Sea. Mark, the whale watching guide, named this whale when he first spotted it 22 years ago. And they're both together now. It's pretty cool to see two legendary whales like this hanging out. Apart from mums with calves, you usually don't see them close together. What a magical thing, just these two Goliaths of the sea meeting up in a random place in the middle of the ocean, and it's just really incredible to witness them. Suddenly they're right next to each other, after being leagues apart, and Orion and Monarch keep swimming away together, further and further from us, exhaling those beautiful tall spouts as they go. They're still together though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Like they're travelling off to the horizon together.
Here we go.
Oh,
There goes Orion.
beautiful dive, big tail in the air. The story of humpback whales in the Salish Sea has had some serious and traumatic ups and downs. The last couple of decades things have been looking up, but nothing's guaranteed for a huge species on an increasingly busy planet of humans. Not just ship strikes, but whales getting entangled in fishing nets, noise pollution, overfishing. These things could be just as harmful to humpbacks as the greed of last century's whaling industry. But it's a very powerful thing when you realise that even some of the world's biggest animals will come back if you allow them to, and if the habitat is there waiting for them. Today's science and technology is here to help. Around the world, research and attention are triggering new laws, and even shipping industry involvement to make oceans safer for whales. Cargo ships leaving Boston Harbour are now rerouted to avoid congregations of endangered right whales. The busiest shipping route in the world, in the Indian Ocean, has been routed around blue whale and sperm whale hotspots. California has speed limits in areas with whales. And in New Zealand, marine mammals are given a break from whale watchers in the middle of the day when they need to rest. I asked Jackie Hildering, the whale researcher, what she thinks about the bigger picture when it comes to humpbacks. My last question is, what do you think our relationship should be like with humpback whales?
Respect. You should feel very, very small in the presence of giants. You should respect everything that their presence is revealing. The mistakes made, but if you're lucky enough, you can sometimes get second chances, and to make those count.
A busier world doesn't have to mean a world that's not ready to welcome back legends like Big Mama, Orion, and Monarch. And a second chance with these gentle giants might just allow us to do it right this time. Before the credits, just a couple of fun things for you. If you want to check out the app that Chloe was using to find humpback whales around the Salish Sea, search for Whale Report in the App Store. It's amazing. And if you want to learn more about eDNA and the groundbreaking things that scientists are using it for, check out my conversation with eDNA expert, Dr. Aili Andruskevich-Allen. The link to that episode is in the show notes. Special thanks to Scott Veers from Orca Sound and to Oceanwise for the beautiful humpback whale recordings you heard at the beginning of the episode. If you want to listen to more whales around the Salish Sea, visit orcasound.net. A great thing to immerse in. Thank you also to Prince of Wales in Victoria for taking us out to see the whales. And as always, there are some great photographs and clips from our travels on Instagram at The Wild Pod and mine at Chris Morgan Wildlife. The Wild is a production of KUOW in Seattle and Chris Morgan Wildlife, with support from Wildlife Media. Lucy Soucek produced this episode. Jim Gates is our editor. Writing for this episode by Christopher Preston. Fact-checking by Apryle Craig. Our theme music is by Michael Parker. Additional music from Music Bed and Blue Dot Sessions. The Wild is hosted, produced and written by me, Chris Morgan. A very special thank you for their kind financial support to Jill and Scott Walker, Rose Letwin, Ellen Ferguson, the Isdell family, Anna Kimball, Barbara Stallman, John Taylor, Paul Lister, Bob Yellowlees, and John and Julie Hanson. Thanks for listening. I hope you get to step or swim into nature today. See you next time.